Outside of like just instant cash flow, which is absolutely, lifeblood of a company, what are some other benefits of sales, especially in an early stage company?
Well, I think the biggest benefit to sales in an early stage company is really getting super clear on what your customer is willing to say yes to. I mean, there's a lot of people who will take your survey and will tell you they think what you're doing is cool. But at the end of the day, that's worth like a little bit. But ultimately, you're just trying to figure out if you're articulating your idea clearly. What you need is someone to give you money for it. People can tell you something's a cool idea all day long. But like for me, there's very little that I'm actually willing to pay for. So if someone gives you money for it, then you know that you're on the right track. And I think that that's the biggest thing with sales. Then the other big thing is you learn after you're talking to customers, pitching, what they kind of glob onto. You can say my product is the fastest, and they're like, like my product is the best. It's the prettiest. Or, like my product's the most efficient. It'll save money and it'll help you make more money. Oh, well, that I'm interested in. And so now, other activities with marketing where you're going to start honing in the language on your website or making a promotional video, what to hammer on to get people to be like, yes, I want this, but you wouldn't otherwise know that if you didn't spend all this time telling people what your product did and listening to them be not interested and then see where they are interested. And then, the flip side, your team gets to start actually fulfilling real things with real customers. And you can be like, oh, this thing that I thought was a big deal, no one cares. Not profitable, not interesting. This other thing here, people are willing to pay for that. So let's explore this option, And that's something you can't do until you have real, actual paying, like warm bodies in the door,
Yeah, and I think what you're saying is it's the whole like, it's when, you hear a number of people talk about like, essentially going and get market validation and talking to early customers. What this is actually more than that, which is, because I think a lot of times when people talk about that, especially like the lean movement, it's like, oh, you need to go and get you need to go talk to 100 or 500 people to get a validated concept of what you're really building and the value to them. Mm-hmm. But what you're describing is, this is like literally, this is sales. This is like go out, talk to people, talk to companies, and actually get a sale, get money, get them to write a check for the value that you're providing them, whether it is a product or a service, and doing that on a larger and larger scale. And again, it's like, it kind of fascinates me that this is almost common sense, but it seems to be not sometimes the main driving force that a lot of early stage companies are focused on.
Yeah, well, I think that that's a good observation because who's writing a lot of the startup literature and who's the thought leaders? VCs.
Yeah.
And this is their area. So of course they talk about it this way because this is what they do. And, you've got people who have become really, really well known, not just in the startup world, but just kind of in general, people like Guy Kawasaki and even this, Shark Tank. And it's all about the investment. It's make or break. It's do or die. And, I think that we forget that there's like good old fashioned business practices and, you can be good at those and you can be totally badass and you don't need those things until you're ready for it. And then it's a lot more of a level playing field. And I think we just discount it. We think it's not cool. It's not like what I'm supposed to do. And even if you look at accelerators, every accelerator's end goal is getting you into a demo day. It's getting your pitch deck refined and getting you out there. And I'll even see events where they'll say, come and learn about how to explain to investors how your company closes sales. And I'm like, what? How to explain to investors how your company closes? What about how to close sales for your company?
Yeah.
But it's just all